Can you ask him to wait in the lobby? This room is for family only. That sentence is still stuck in my head. My 7-year-old adopted son, Eli, was standing right behind me at my dad's retirement dinner when my aunt said it. She didn't lower her voice. She didn't even look embarrassed. She just pointed her manicured hand toward the hallway like she was asking a waiter to move a chair. Before I tell you what I did that night, tell me in the comments where you're watching from, your state or your country. I love seeing where everyone's tuning in from. Okay, back to that room. Eli was wearing the little navy blazer he'd been begging to wear for weeks. He'd practiced saying, "Congratulations, Grandpa," in the mirror so many times that he started saying it to our dog. This dinner was supposed to be a big deal, his first fancy grown-up party with my side of the family. I had just helped him climb onto his chair when my Aunt Caroline swooped in. She kissed my cheek, air kisses only, then looked at Eli like he was a misplaced coat. "Lauren, sweetie," she said. "The big speech is adults and, close family. There's a kid's room down the hall. He can wait there." I glanced across the table. My brother's 3 kids were still there, elbows on the linen, already poking at the breadbasket. Nobody was sending them anywhere. "Close family?" I repeated. She smiled like I'd missed a joke. "You know what I mean. Blood. It's just easier that way." Eli heard every word. His hand tightened around my wrist. He didn't say anything, but his shoulders rose up to his ears. For a second, I considered arguing, making a scene between the shrimp cocktail and the centerpiece. I imagined giving a speech about what family actually is, about court dates and home visits, and the first night Eli called me Mom. Instead, I pushed my chair back. "Eli," I said quietly, "grab your jacket." My husband, Chris, looked up from across the table. "Everything okay?" "We're heading home," I said. The room went soft and blurry, like someone had dimmed the lights too far. My dad was at the head table laughing with his coworkers, completely unaware that the grandson who made him a crooked, hand-drawn happy retirement card was being escorted out of his own celebration. Caroline laughed nervously. "Lauren, don't be dramatic. He'll be fine in the kids' room. It's only for the toast." Behind her, my mother avoided my eyes and adjusted her necklace. "Let's not ruin the evening," she murmured. "We just don't want him to feel out of place." "Out of place," I repeated. "So you sent him away before he could notice?" Eli's voice was barely a whisper. Did I do something wrong? I looked down at his big brown eyes and the cowlick that never stayed flat no matter how much gel we used. I thought about the file the social worker had given me the first day I met him, the notes about how he hated being left alone, how he checked every room twice before going to sleep. "No, buddy," I said. "You didn't do anything wrong. We just don't belong in rooms where people forget your family." I turned to Chris. "Are you coming?" He stood without a single question. That's one of the reasons I married him. He slid the car keys around his fingers and nodded. "Yeah, we're done here." Someone called after us that the cake was coming, that Dad hadn't given his speech yet. But Eli's small hand was clammy in mine. My heart was pounding, and I knew if I stayed one more minute, I'd either start screaming or start crying. I wasn't giving them the satisfaction of either. We walked through the lobby, past framed photos of donors and alumni. Eli stared at the floor, the way kids do when they're trying not to trip or cry. "Are we in trouble?" he asked as the glass doors slid open. "No," I said. "We just decided to go home." In the car, he buckled himself in and stared straight ahead. Streetlights slid across his face like slow lightning. "Grandma said the dinner was just for real family," he said eventually. Am I not real? Something inside me cracked so loudly I was surprised he couldn't hear it. You are as real as it gets, I said. And anybody who can't see that doesn't get a seat at our table anymore. He didn't answer, but after a minute, he reached for my hand. He fell asleep before we reached our driveway, still in his blazer, still holding the envelope with my dad's card inside. That night, after we carried him to bed, I sat at the kitchen table staring at my phone. There were already messages in the family group chat. Mom, I hope you got home safely. I wish you'd stayed. Your father was hurt that you left. Caroline, sorry if it came out wrong. You know how formal these events are. I was just trying to help. My brother Matt. You overreacted, Lauren. You know how old-fashioned they are. Eli won't even remember. I looked down the hallway toward Eli's room. His nightlight cast small stars on the ceiling. He'd remember. Kids always remember the doors that close in their faces. I started to type a response, deleted it, and set my phone face down. From the outside, my family looks picture perfect. My parents live in a big house in Connecticut with white columns and seasonal wreaths. They donate to charities, host holiday parties, and send out matching outfit Christmas cards. People say things like, "Your parents are goals." They didn't see the way my mother flinched when I first said the word adoption. They didn't hear my father mutter, "You never really know what you're bringing into the family," like I was ordering suspicious takeout. I was the kid who left home and made it in New York, the one who paid off her loans, bought a condo, and somehow became the unofficial bank for everybody else. Need. Tuition covered, a car payment, deposits for our yearly lake reunion? Text Lauren. She'll cover it. For years, I told myself that was love, that wiring money every month to help with the house was just what good daughters did. That swallowing comments about real grandchildren was the price of keeping the peace. But watching Eli stand in that doorway while someone decided he wasn't close family flipped a switch I didn't know I had. A few weeks later, the texts about our annual summer reunion started. Same lake resort upstate. Same cabins I always booked. Same silent expectation that I'd foot the bill. Only this time, every time I opened the spreadsheet, I saw Eli in that lobby. So I made one quiet change. I didn't announce it. I didn't argue. I just canceled a few familiar reservations, opened a blank column, and started a brand new guest list, built around one rule. Only people who treated my son like he belonged would be invited to our family weekend. The first name on the new list was Chris's mom, Denise. She lives in Ohio, works 2 jobs, and still somehow finds a way to send Eli baseball cards and goofy stickers in every holiday card. The second was our neighbor, Mr. Harris, the retired teacher who lets Eli help wash his old pickup every Saturday. Then my college best friend, Jamie, who drove 6 hours just to be at Eli's adoption hearing and cried harder than I did when the judge banged the gavel. After that, the list practically wrote itself. People who knew Eli liked dinosaur gummies, who asked about his books, who talked to him, not over him. By the time I was done, almost half the usual cabins were empty. I stared at the blank spaces where my parents, Caroline, and a handful of judgmental cousins usually sat. Then I opened the cancellation page, hovered for a second, and clicked Confirm. Next, I rebooked those same cabins under different names. Denise, Jamie and her wife, Mr. Harris and his sister, 2 other adoptive families from Eli's school who'd once told me they never vacationed because big family trips felt too complicated. Come to the lake with us, I wrote in each invite. No dress code, no drama, just bring whatever makes you feel like family. In the family group chat, I posted the usual info, dates, location, and added one extra line. This year, I'm only covering cabins for people who treat Eli as family. If that's uncomfortable for you, feel free to sit this one out. It took 13 minutes for my phone to start buzzing. Mom. What is that supposed to mean? Matt. Is this about the dinner? You can't punish everyone over one misunderstanding. Carolyn. Lauren, that's incredibly unfair. We've always supported you. I typed back 3 words. Actions, not words. Then I put my phone on Do Not Disturb and went back to helping Eli glue googly eyes on his cardboard robot. The week of the reunion, my parents still hadn't given a clear answer. Everyone else had. Denise sent a string of excited emojis. Jamie offered to bring enough snacks to feed a small army. One of the other moms texted, "My daughter cried happy tears when I told her. She's never been invited to a family weekend before." The night before we left, Eli bounced around the living room, his suitcase half-zipped and overflowing with comic books. "Do you think Grandpa will play soccer with me this year?" he asked. I knelt down and smoothed his hair. "Buddy, Grandpa's not coming this time." He paused, processing. "Because of the restaurant?" "Because of a lot of things," I said. "But you're not the problem. You never were." He nodded slowly, then brightened in that quick way kids do. "That's okay. Mr. Harris said he'll teach me how to skip rocks, and Jamie's bringing a kayak." "Exactly." I smiled. "This year, you're surrounded by people who are really on your team." We reached the lake just before sunset. The water glowed orange. Kids were already racing between cabins. Denise hugged Eli so tight, his sneakers left the ground. Mr. Harris handed him a little tackle box with his name written in shaky marker. "You serious?" Eli breathed. "As serious as a heart attack." Mr. Harris grinned. "Come on, let's see if the fish are home." For the first time, our family reunion actually felt like one. We roasted marshmallows. We told stories under the stars. Nobody sighed when Eli spilled juice or asked 100 questions. When he scraped his knee on the dock, 3 adults rushed over. None of them blood-related, all of them treating his pain like their own emergency. I thought that would be the quiet ending, replacing people who loved the photo with people who loved the child. But of course, my old family wouldn't let it be that simple. On the second afternoon, while Denise and I were at the grill, my phone lit up with an unknown number. I almost let it go to voicemail. Instead, I wiped my hands and picked up. "Hello?" "Lauren?" My mother's voice, tight, controlled. "Where are you?" I looked around at the pine trees, the kids jumping off the dock, Eli shrieking as Jamie sprayed him with a water gun. "At the lake," I said. "The reunion, same weekend as always." "We're at the resort," she said. "They just told us our cabins were canceled. They said you rebooked them under other names." I watched Eli crouch on the dock, showing 2 little girls how to build a dam with smooth stones. "You got my message," I said. "This year's for people who treat Eli as family." "We are his family," she snapped. "You can't just erase us." "You tried to erase him first," I answered. "Remember when you told him that room was for real family only?" "That dinner was a misunderstanding," she insisted. "You embarrassed your father. He spent his whole speech wondering why you walked out. He should have spent it wondering why his grandson was standing alone by a door," I said, "and why nobody thought that was a problem." "We could have talked about it," she said. "Instead, you go behind our backs, cancel our rooms, replace us with strangers. You made us look like villains." "I didn't have to make you look like anything," I said calmly. "You did that yourselves." She dropped into that soft, reasonable tone she uses when she wants to sound like the victim. "You're making a mistake, Lauren. These people won't be around forever. We're blood. When things go bad, we're the ones who step in." I glanced down the hill. Denise was carefully turning hot dogs so they didn't burn. Mr. Harris had a towel ready for the kids coming out of the water. Jamie was teaching them a silly camp song. Eli front and center, laughing so hard he kept forgetting the words. "Funny," I said. "When things were really bad, when I was sobbing in a fertility clinic bathroom, when I brought home a terrified 5-year-old, when he was standing in a hallway asking if he'd done something wrong, you didn't step in. You stepped back." "That's not fair," she whispered. "It's honest," I replied. "There's a difference." Behind her, I could hear my dad and my brother talking over each other, both of them asking for the phone. "You think you can just cut us off?" she asked. "After everything we've done for you?" I thought of the mortgage payments, the lake deposits, the Christmases where my name quietly disappeared from gift tags after I'd swiped my card. "I'm not cutting you off," I said. "I'm cutting you loose. There's a difference there, too." She sucked in a sharp breath. "So that's it? You're choosing strangers over us?" I looked at the people on the hill below me. Denise, who'd driven all night to be here. Jamie, who knew every one of Eli's fears and dreams. Mr. Harris, who had already promised to come to Eli's first Little League game. "I'm choosing the people who chose us back," I said. There was a long silence. "You'll regret this," she said finally. "Maybe," I answered. "But Eli won't." I hung up. That evening, as the sky turned purple over the lake, Eli crawled into my lap on an Adirondack chair, still damp from swimming, smelling like sunscreen and smoke. "Mom," he said, "this is the best family reunion ever." "Yeah?" I asked, wrapping the blanket tighter around us. "Yeah," he said, "because nobody asked me to wait outside." The old family completely lost it after that weekend. Group chats exploded. Long emails arrived about loyalty and tradition. My dad left a voicemail listing every vacation he'd let me plan, as if I'd done it for myself. I listened once, then deleted it. I'd spent most of my life trying to earn a place at a table that kept shrinking my chair. Eli didn't just need a seat there. He needed a world where the whole table was built for him too. Now, when I look at our photos from the lake, Eli with marshmallow on his nose, Denise asleep in a hammock, Mr. Harris teaching the kids to play cards, I don't see missing people. I just see our family. And if my parents ever learn what that word really means, maybe there'll be room for them on the dock someday. But their ticket back won't be blood. It'll be how they treat the little boy who calls me Mom.